What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LOI Fan TV. Hope you're all keeping very, very well indeed. Of course, this week we are looking ahead to the second leg in all of the European games for all the LOI sides. Of course, we have a Champions League fixture and two Conference League ties. To go over it all with me once again is Luke Jennings. Of course, Luke, how are you, man? Happy enough with last week?
Yeah, and didn't lose, so it's a
Yeah,
success. Yeah, so
that
bring on
that
the
was
second
just.
leg.
Yeah, we might as well start off with your boys. Obviously, this probably you coming out again on the Tuesday, so the match would be tonight. Um, but you were kind of saying last week, even if you can get a draw, bring it back to Tala, that's kind of mission done.
Yeah, mission done big time. Like 17 corners we gave them, didn't have a shot on target. So success from that point of view. Now it was a nail biting one to watch. Like
Yeah,
it was just because our game plan we started with four centre halves, so just to stay tight, stay compact, and just don't
yeah,
concede. And then we had energy coming off the bench with Johnny Kenny, Dara Burns, Neil Ferrugia, and we nearly did nick it. Like we had the best chance of the
yeah,
game with Johnny Kenny. Like I was fell to my knees like when he put that one over the bar.
yeah.
Like
You probably should
just
have scored, shouldn't you? Like,
it was just like yeah, it's striker 101. Like this 1-on-one. You just expect him, don't you? Just to yeah, I
yeah,
think even if he takes another touch, Brad even said after the game, he takes another touch, he takes the keeper out of it.
yeah.
So
You can go around the keeper. Yeah.
I just yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those, isn't it? It's just like
Because he did really well for one chance. He kind of created himself. He kind of turned the defender on the halfway line, got in behind with his pace and put it just wide. Like he did offer you something. Like he offered, he was kind of biggest threat of the night. Really, he came on and made a difference. To be fair to him, like looking at it from a
yeah.
positive point of view, like
Yeah. No, he's dangerous, and he gave us something when he came on, and
yeah,
like Barry Murphy on commentary alluded to it. Like their centre halves aren't quick. Like
no,
they're quite experienced at the back, so like they're not the fastest. And yeah, definitely Bradley kind of recognized that and utilized it. So like to be honest, I know people were raging at Kenny, but I'd start him in the second
yeah.
leg because he's one of these players. Like he'll keep on going until he scores. So yeah, I definitely think that. Yeah, I think he has a point to prove tonight in Tala.
What do you think in terms of kind of how Rovers will approach this? Will they kind of go with similar back four again, or what they're kind of big defenders
Yeah.
again, or will they kind of go forward a bit more? Or will they? Because Kenny is kind of a little bit of a pragmatic manager to a degree. Or it's not Kenny Bradley, sorry, a bit of a pragmatic manager, a little bit like he kind of does kind of defense first. Really likes to keep it tight at times and make sure you're not conceding, and then let the players up front do their bits as well. Then
Yeah. The only kind of players back we have for this game is Lee Grace, and then Darren Nugent got sent off, so he's not
it's huge. Yeah,
available. So yeah, like to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he just replaced like Darren Nugent with like Richie Taylor or something and kept it the same because
yeah,
I feel like I feel like the tactics worked, like, and obviously it's gonna be near to a full house in Tallaght, so like, and we know how to play that pitch. I genuinely think like the longer the game goes on at its level, we'll like they've never won a tie away from home. Like they've played, I think it was 9 or 10 European ties away from home. They've drawn two and lost seven. So like you know yourself, you saw yourself with Shells
yeah,
like last week. Like home advantage is huge in Europe, and I think
massive.
if we did like there wasn't much more wrong with our tactics. It's just maybe do a bit more on the front foot this week, and then bringing those players on earlier. And then if it goes extra time, happy days. Like we've players in abundance off the bench. Like I fancy us to win the game. Yeah, I think the hard work's been done now. Like over there, not to lose was a huge result, especially after a result last year. Like
Yeah,
so, yeah.
100%.
I think Bradley will keep it relatively the same, keep the same players. Maybe, as I said, replace Darren Nugent and yeah, maybe Johnny Kenny too. But I don't really think there's much wrong with the tactics.
So, score prediction wise, what do you thinking? Rovers to advance anyway.
Yeah, I think we'll get through. I don't know, tough one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with a narrow 1-0. I'm gonna say we do
Yeah,
it 1-0. I'd say like it'd be like a second half goal job, like Johnny Kenny or a set piece Pico or something. So yeah, no 1-0. What do you think?
I could weirdly kind of see penalties here for some reason. Like I can nearly
Yeah,
see it going all the way. Um, but yeah, I will just give you the edge. I'll go. Yeah, 1-0. I'll go 2-1. Maybe a little bit more open. Both teams maybe kind of going for it. Maybe second half, kind of throwing a few more bodies forward, things like that. Maybe a few more openings
yeah,
here and there. Um,
yeah.
if they
I feel
score
like as soon
earlier,
as I feel like it's once one goal goes in here, like
yeah,
it'll just explode. Like both teams will
yeah.
just start panicking.
Whereas if it's 0-0 half time, you could easily see it go on the distance with both teams kind of not taking too many risks, like because there's so
Yeah,
much at stake here. Like,
it's ridiculous. I guess it's honestly it's hard. Like you're like, oh, these are the games you want to play in, but like they're horrible to watch as a fan.
yeah,
Like because you know there's so much riding on them. Like it's just you're one mistake away from getting knocked out. Like, it's just yeah, it's horrendous watching, but like it makes it even better. Like when it
Oh,
does come off.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I'll back Rovers to get done. I'll go 2-1 Shamrock Rovers. About both predicting Rovers to get through the first round of the Champions League, which would be fantastic for them. Next up then we do have St. Joseph's at home to Shelbourne. Now Shell's obviously going over to Gibraltar with a 2-1 lead, a slender enough advantage. Obviously, I was at the game last week. Mark Cole got us off to kind of an absolute dream of a start, scoring within 30 seconds, maybe even less. And you just kind of thought, okay, we're gonna get the front foot here. They didn't look great. Like they looked okay, handy enough, but it was like we can maybe rack up two or three. But obviously the Shells way obviously make it difficult for ourselves. Dropped off a little bit towards the end of the half. We were kind of on top without creating a huge amount. I think like that little bit of something we touched on last week was that bit of a European experience. It's just like we didn't know quite how much to go for it and how much to expose ourselves at times and stuff. So conceded a really poor goal just before half time from a corner. So I'd say Duff is fuming over that. But did regain the advantage early enough second half. Will Jarvis penalty. Duff went 4-4-2 at half time, made this change straight away, but Boyd up front alongside John Martin made a difference straight off the bat, really. So Ali Q came on and looked sharp, looked good as well. I think he'll be a good option for the rest of the season. Harry Wood, of course, coming into the mix as well. Probably take him a couple of weeks to get up to speed. But yeah, it's going to be tough. I think obviously we'll get on to the other results in Gibraltar last week, but I think the heat is a huge factor over there. Like it's a killer for Irish sides to go over there and to try and adapt to that. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, I actually watched this start to finish. I'm a first Shells game watching it, like they didn't have Rovers in it. So I was mad
Yeah,
to watch like yeah, a 1-0 you should have been out of sight. Like you had a great chance to like Liam Burt just narrowly hit a wide and
yeah,
like you were playing lovely stuff. It was just it was a stupid goal, wasn't it?
really
Like
bad.
it did like what did it go in off your man's like his like his quad or something? Like you just kind of swiped that like, from a set
I
piece.
s-
You'd fancy Shells to defend that, like you know.
yeah, yeah. Maybe it's something where maybe Gavin Malloy in there makes a little bit of a difference or something. Maybe that kind of you kind of maybe lose your defensive structure from set pieces when you lose such a crucial part of your back four. But yeah, I nearly like looked away for a second and I looked back and the goal was in. It was like I just wasn't even expecting anything to happen. Like it was mad. But
Yeah.
yeah, desperately disappointing one to concede, especially that to timing wise as well.
Yeah, it was a mad one, but like it was kind of a bit rattled after that. You could see like 5 minutes after the goal, they were still attacking. And then Duffer got using
Yeah,
a half time. He's came back out and he's looked yourselves again. And then he's
yeah,
got the goal. And then, as you said, like Ali Q looked really good when he came
yeah,
on. Like he really lively, pacey. Like Harry Wood as well made a difference. And yeah, as I said, it could have been three or four. But yeah, to be honest, over here, like it's gonna be tough. But I don't think it'd be too tough. Like, he knows what you are getting into. Like, you have that kind of wake up call with what Derry did last week to kind
yeah,
of at the back
yeah.
of your mind, like, right, we can't take our eye off the ball. So, yeah, I see Shells getting through here. I don't think it's going to be easy. I'm probably going
No.
to lean towards, I say 1-1.
1-1. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I was actually going to back a draw. I was actually going to back a 0-0. I think the Duff might just go out here and just Mourinho it and just kind of shithouse a 0-0 draw and go safely through to the next round. No, don't take any great risks really. And the thing is, if they go for it as well, we could kind of hit them on the count. We have the players that can break on them and we have something to go over there and defend now as well. So, but yeah, I could just see this one being a 0-0 draw. I think it could be a bad game to watch as a neutral, but it doesn't matter as long as you get your name into the hat for the next round. So, yeah, I think we should have enough to get through it. But yeah, it's a tricky one. It's us definitely not an easy game, and I think it's a shame that we like even having that two. If we were 2-0 up, you'd be so much more confident going over there. Like if you had kind of that two goal advantage, you'd be a lot more confident. But sure, yeah, a bit more exciting anyway. The 2-1, plenty to play for in Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. And as I say, you've got Glamour against Zurich in the next round. Just to be honest, like even though on paper these are out of your depth, I fancy you to do well against them if you get there. So it's
Yeah,
just about getting there, and I think as well. I like it was funny Duffer talking about Brian Kerr having the players
yeah,
wearing the full kits in the sauna on
yeah.
bikes. Wouldn't surprise me. It's something that Duffer would
I'd
do.
say
Like,
he's yeah, I'd say he's doing something. I'd say anyway, 100% pulling something out of the bag. Like,
and we saw him apologize as well for his FAI comments,
yeah,
which is unlike him. He normally doesn't take back what he says.
no,
So that
yeah.
was obviously. I wonder what went on behind the scenes there.
I think yeah, I think he kind of was. I think the point he was trying to make was good in terms of like I think he's up out the blazers and the suits rather than the everyday working people in the organization, you know. Um, but I think yeah, say 90%. I think just the way he phrased, I think he said 90% of the board of directors or something, you know, that kind of way, like or the decision makers.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
90% of the whole working force is yeah, I think he knew he kind of overstepped the mark there or whatever. And obviously you want to kind of keep up some sort of relationship with the organization as well, I guess. So but yeah, no, fair play to him. He owned it, and he writ the letter as well. So fair play.
That's it. It's easy for him. I suppose it would have been easier for him to just to sit on the horse, like, and say, "No,
Yeah,
I'm not taking it
yeah,
back." And like history would suggest you do that, but the fact he didn't like was respectable. So fair play, yeah. He
yeah,
put
yeah.
his hand up. So
No, 100%. Yeah, both going for Shells to progress there. Narrowly enough, both going for a draw in that one. Finally, then Derry City have a massive, massive task on their hands to try and get through in the Conference League. They, of course, suffered a 2-0 defeat to Bruno Magpies last week in Gibraltar. An absolutely devastating result, to be honest. Really, really poor. And they've been kind of the laughing stock of the league the last week or so after that result. Well, yeah, what did you think of it?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
we
Like
both backed
two,
them to
like
win
yeah,
comfortably.
I
Yeah,
thought that like it's funny because we were giving so much respect to your lads, like, and then today
yeah,
we're like Adel Walker, and yeah, it was just yeah. I don't know what happens. As I said, I didn't watch the game, so I don't know what happens. Just the scoreline's baffling. But to be honest, like I don't think it's over by no means. I think Derry get a goal in the first half, and the Brandy well, the place be rocking. I think they could
yeah.
claw it back. Like
Yeah, I agree. I think Dan Kelly, I just saw one of the chances he had. I think Patching knocked it around the corner to some Willie bullet flick through. I think this might have been a nil all. He put it wide. Definitely should have scored. They had a couple of chances. I think yeah, Rory Higgins was texting Duff after the match and saying the heat is a killer over there as well. Like so obviously the Bruno Magpies lads are more suited to that. But no excuses for Derry. They should be beating them. Magpies were what we were saying before, 20 points behind. St. Joseph's in the league last season. They lost their goalkeeper, you were saying as well. So yeah, you'd imagine Derry should definitely fancy their chances to try and claw us back and just even have a huge point to prove for them because it's embarrassing really for them and for the league that they suffered that defeat really as well.
yeah, and the fact that like Magpies are in pre-season, like, and
Yeah,
they turned over Derry mid-season, who were like making a run for the league, and like some people are being funny on Twitter, being like, "Oh, Derry are like they're flogging Europe to win the league," but no, I don't buy any of that. And
no, none of
even
that.
if they did, like, it's a terrible look for the league if we get knocked out to Gibraltar in opposition. Like, so I
Even for
can't
the
happen.
coefficient and all that as well. Like
Oh, 100%. Like
disaster.
yeah, just a really bad look, and you'd love to see kind of Derry get that bit of extra bit of money getting to the next round. So yeah, as I said, I have a even though like the first leg doesn't give you much hope, I just feel like Derry are one of these teams like they put a bad one, then they put a good one, they're due a good one. Like they've had two back to back bad results. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Derry matched the result of the first leg. I'm gonna say 2-0 and they do it on penalties or something like that.
I was actually taking the set. There's no way it goes, isn't there, in international
No,
in European football anymore?
no.
Not now. So, uh, yeah, I was thinking extra time as well. To be fair, I'll go 3-1 normal time, and then I'll go for Derry to nick it 4-1, in extra time. But yeah,
Nice
it's
one,
tough.
Tom.
It's tough. Like I think they've goals in them though. They do have they have goal scorers and they have players that can cause problems. Like
Defo. All they need to do is get that first goal. As I said, home advantage is huge in Europe. Like, so if they get that first goal in the first half, like there's loads of time to get the
yeah,
second. So
they
I
could
think they will.
definitely get through normal time as well. Thinking about it, like with an early goal, they're well amongst it.
100%.
It's just a shame that they conceded that second goal. I think that was late on as well. They're probably like half kind of throwing bodies forward to try and equalise nearly. I didn't watch it, but I'm just assuming.
Mm.
Like even a 1-0, you'd be like, okay, let's just take it. They probably maybe from a management standpoint, you'd be like, we'll just take this. It's been a crap game. Just take it 1-0. We'll go back to Manuel and turn them over. But 2-0, this is like that feels like a bit more of a mountain to climb. Like,
Yeah. No, it's not going to be easy by no means. Like it's a bizarre result, and
yeah,
I'd be shocked. Like I'd be shocked if they came to the Brandywell and got a result against Derry. I just can't see it. And I think the lot as like similar enough to yourselves, they're in preseason, and like the longer this game goes on, the more fatigue. Like even extra time
true.
to suit Derry because they'll be
Yeah,
like, oh my god, like this is different. Like away from
yeah.
home, yeah. So I fancy Derry.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it because it's a 5 o'clock kickoff, obviously, as well. And I was in at the Shells game, and one of the lads was like, Derry lost 2-0. I was like, oh, you're winding me up. Like, I didn't even think it had happened yet. I forgot it was 5 o'clock kickoff. Like, could not believe it.
You
But
said I had you
yeah.
freaked out before the Shells game.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I was like, who are these lads going to, what are these lads going to be like? And then it ended up just being a shit Celamars. But
Exactly.
best chant ever. Like, uh, but yeah, they have guys. We're both predicting all of the Irish sides to progress this week. Not none of them in an easy manner. All quite close games, but we're backing all the Irish teams to go through. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. We'll be replying to all of them down there. Make sure to drop a like in the video if you did enjoy and subscribe if you're new. It is much appreciated. Luke, pleasure as always, mate.
Cheers, Ross. Thank you.